All right, welcome back to this Ecamm Live Masterclass. In this video, I'm going to talk about the sound effects panel. Now, you can see it over here on the bottom left of my screen. Again, just to quickly remind you, all of these panels are customizable, so you can go ahead and grab them and move them all around. So right now, let's take a look at the sound effects panel. Now, in the panel, basically what you're going to have is you're going to have quick links to different types of audios, and they're all MP3 files. Now, you can have these by default, so you can see that this is an applause button, this is a ba-ding button, and then there's also different types of quick sound effects. So if I just go ahead and click on the play button, you'll hear that there's applause there, or maybe there's a bicycle horn, right? So all of these different sound effects you can play on your live stream or in your recording, and when you play one of these, you'll notice that the sound effects audio level, the meter here, will actually move. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the glockenspiel, and you'll see that that has now moved. Now, you can actually speak over those sound effects as you had seen, so I can go ahead and click on the triangle at the same time, and you will hear that sound effect just playing in the background. Now, you're not just only able to add specific quick sound effects. You can actually add other audio tracks as well. And that's a lot of the time what I use my Ecamm for. I will play some sort of a background audio track, or maybe I'm going to be playing an audio track during a countdown. So as an example, let's create a countdown timer, very, very quick and simple. And let's do that right now. Okay, so let's start off by creating a brand new scene, and we're going to call this countdown. And for me, I always like to keep them in general order of what I'm going to be using them with or for. So let's go ahead and click on countdown, and we're going to go ahead and now add a camera overlay. And so this is going to be my default camera, as you've always seen in all of these other videos. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make it around close to about 50% of the width of the video. And in this area, I'm going to add the actual timer itself. So if you remember the overlays, there is one specific one that looks like a 3, 2, 1, and that's the countdown timer. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to create a 5-minute timer. I'm still going to use that exact same design as well from before. So I'm going to go ahead and add this and make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a text here saying, we start in ... and make it a little bit smaller. We start in, there we go. Now, for me, I'm just going to leave this as a countdown, and for 5 minutes, I will just kind of talk and maybe bring in some comments and things like that. But I also want to play a specific series of songs during this background. So right now, I only have really quick sound effects, but I'm going to go ahead here into my Finder, and I'm going to see that I have 3 different music tracks. So I can just go ahead and drag them into this panel here, or I can click on the plus sign. Now, easiest, just go ahead and drag it in. Now, when you drag it in, you can see that you can drag it in a specific placement or anything like that. So I'm just going to drag it over to the bottom. And then there is a copyright music warning here, just to keep in mind that if you're using certain types of music, you are restricted to using music that you are actually licensing. Don't just go ahead and use any music that you found or any, radio music that you've just downloaded. Okay, so don't use anything like that. So now I've got 3 different music tracks there. Now I can go ahead and drag one song into this main preview window, and you can see what happens there. Okay, you'll notice that it started playing and it was quite loud, and then it shows up as a little overlay in the preview window here. So that means every time that I start this scene, and I'm just going to switch from here, and I'm going to go to the countdown scene. So whenever I start that countdown scene, the music track is now attached to that countdown scene, and it will start playing. So let me just do that real quick. Okay, so it automatically starts whenever this scene is selected. Now, however, a couple of things. One is, I want more than one song because I know this song is not exactly 5 minutes long. And on top of that, it was really, really loud. So let's go over folders next. So I'm just going to remove this audio track. And then if I know that I want to play these 3 different songs, I'm going to go over to the bottom left of the sound effects panel, and I'm going to click on the new folder button. So I'm going to call this music. Okay, and let me just move this down. And I'm going to select these 3 tracks. and I'm going to drag them into the music folder. So you'll notice that you'll see this little blue line with the white line outside of it. You'll see the dot is underneath the folder. That's how you know it's going to go into that folder. Otherwise, if you moved it down, you'll see that the entire sound effects, all of the different music tracks there, you'll see that, and it goes outside of the folder. So I'm just going to move it into the folder and move this into the folder. So now I have 3 MP3 files that I've licensed into this music folder, and I can go ahead and drag this entire folder now into this scene. Now, keep in mind, it's going to play for a quick second. Okay, so you noticed that when I started playing the folder in this scene, it was a play. It actually showed up as a pause symbol here, and it also showed up as a pause symbol here. So these are play pause controls for each individual track as well as the folder itself. Now, just for example's sake, I'm going to actually lower the music sound effects over. And so let's say I started this scene, and once I click countdown, this folder is going to play automatically. And now you can kind of hear it in the background as I'm speaking at the same time. So notice that the music track folder has a pause symbol beside it, and the one single audio track that's playing is kind of glowing and pulsating, and you can see it's got the little play music sound beside it. So I can go ahead and now make these adjustments based on how I see fit. Now, a general rule of practice is the sound effects should be around that 80% mark. However, careful with your ears. I'm going to move it over to 80%. You're going to notice this is really loud. Okay, so that is still very, very, very loud. So from what I can do now is I can go ahead into each of these specific audio tracks, and I can click on the little cog wheel or the settings wheel, and I can adjust the song volume from there. Now, this is just a little bit of a tip here. I've noticed that most royalty-free music songs that I download from Upbeat or Epidemic Sound or Artlist, the audio tracks are very, very loud. I don't really know why, so this is just a quick tip. Whenever you drag those songs into your Ecamm Live sound effects panel, I would not only just adjust your audio track to 80%, so this is the sound effects track, which means that this is the global volume for all of the songs that play in here, and then I would go into each and every single one of those MP3 song files that you've imported, and I would move it to around half of that volume level. So now you'll notice that as you bring this up, about that 80% rule or 80% level, it's now at a respectable level of volume. Okay, so that is just one quick tip. Now, if you wanted to pause just as I did or stop the music, you can go ahead and click on that song there, and you'll notice that the music track or the folder is also in this preview window. That means every time I start it, it's going to be there. So now whenever you see a little cog wheel or a settings wheel beside any object or overlay, what that means is you can go ahead and change the settings for that specific item. So now that I know that this box here, this little identifier on the preview window is telling me that the music folder is attached to this specific scene, and that will play whenever I show this scene or whenever I start this scene, I can click on that little cog wheel and say, oh, I have an option here, stop when the scene ends. So if I select this, it essentially means that whenever the scene is not on, the music will quickly fade out and then it will stop. Or if I leave this unchecked, it means that when I leave this countdown scene, the music is going to continue to play. Now that's completely dependent on how you wish to run the audio on your tracks. Like, so for example, I know a lot of creators who go live and they have a quick countdown. I'm just going to go ahead and restart this one. They have a quick countdown, and when they're in that countdown session, they actually play the music at the normal volume, so it sounds like everybody's just enjoying the music. However, what they can do afterwards is during the scene that's right after the countdown, what they may do is they may actually turn that music down to a very low level. So it's kind of like this background track that is playing whenever you're actually speaking. This basically is so that you're not hearing any dead space is essentially what it is. It gives people a calm, cool, vibe kind of a thing. So now that I have stop when this music or when this scene ends unchecked, it means that music's going to continue to play whenever I leave this scene. So let's just do this, and I'm going to go here and let's just pretend to start that countdown. It starts at 10 seconds, and listen to how I make the audio tracks work. Actually, let's pick a different, a little bit more chill song as the first one. Let's do this. All right, welcome to the show, guys. We're going to get started really soon once the countdown timer hits 0. All right, and I'm just going to start my own video. And all right, folks, welcome to the show here. My name is Daniel, and I'm here to basically teach you how to do your live stream and your content creation. And in the background right now, you can actually hear a slow music track or a soft music track that's playing in the background as I'm actually talking. So sometimes people don't like to have that white or blank background, sometimes people don't like to have the nothing happening in the background when they're not necessarily saying any words, and so having this kind of music in the background is something that they do. So that's kind of like a nice little transition, going from a countdown that's playing volume high and then you manually adjusting the sound effects level to a lower level where it's just in the background and it's playing as you're speaking. So that is one little quick tip there. Now, what you can also do is you can look at the little settings buttons beside each of these tracks. So beside the specific track, you can adjust the volume. You can cause this track to repeat itself. You can add a hotkey. Basically, if you remember how we did hotkeys for the scenes, you can do the hotkeys as well for each of these soundtracks. So you can adjust that to button A or B or C or whatever keystrokes and combinations you have. And then you can also say add it to this specific scene. So if I just clicked on, if I'm on this item here, this first song, and I click add to scene, you see that it added it. It's the exact same thing as dragging it. So that's the first thing. Now, if it's a folder that you just are clicking on, you can click on that and you can see that we can move that forward a little bit. And we can also repeat this folder so that it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hotkey, and then also dragging it or adding it to this specific scene. So that is your sound effects panel. You do have a couple of other buttons on the bottom right. One is the delete button. So if I'm specifically picking timpani roll and I don't want that, I can either drag that into the trash bin, or I can go ahead and click on Glockenspiel and click on the delete button, and then that goes away. Now, this other button here, you'll notice, is actually a stop the most recent sound. So if I am playing the music and it's playing in the background, you can hear that kind of gently. I can just hit this one instead of looking for this pause button. I can go ahead and click on that, and then it's done. So the music just actually stops. It's just another quick way to have that there. I hope you're really enjoying this Ecamm Live Masterclass, because this has been an absolute joy for me to actually create. And the reason why is because I just love Ecamm Live and I love the whole aspect of content creation, and I hope that you do as well. So please go ahead, leave some comments below. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know if you have other questions about the specific topic that I'm sharing in this video. And another thing that I really want you to do right now is I want you to go ahead and scan this QR code or click the link in the description below, because this is where I'm going to be housing not only just this Ecamm Live Masterclass, but a lot of cool extras that are not going to be found on YouTube. So you have to register for absolutely for free in order to grab this content. It's in my member portal. So go ahead, scan the QR code or click the link in the description, and I will see you on the other side. Now, back to the regular show. All right, so that is the sound effects panel, quick and simple. If you haven't already, I would really encourage you to look at the sound levels video. That's this Windows panel over here, if you haven't already seen it, because this is going to be really important to show you what things or what sources are actually making sound in your Ecamm Live production.